Okay, this is Team Review, questions 19 through 23. Caleb went to the county fair. Well, good for Caleb. He bought a hamburger and drinks for $3.50. That's actually not very important where he went, but what is important is that he bought a hamburger and drink for $3.50. He also, that tells me I'm going to add something, he also purchased some tickets. Don't know how many tickets for the rides, which cost $4 each. Wow, it's a pretty expensive ride. $4 each. That tells me I'm going to multiply. Let me read that again. Caleb went to the county fair. He bought a hamburger and drink. This and makes it look like we need to add something there, but I think the total altogether, the hamburger and the drink, cost $3.50, so I don't think we need to do the work. I think the work has already been done for us. But we do need to make sure that we add the tickets. Question 19. Write an expression that represents the total amount of money Caleb spent at the fair. Okay, it's telling us to write an expression, not an equation. So not an equation. There's no way that I'm going to be able to figure anything out because I don't know how much he spent in total. So it's not an equation. It's not going to have an equal sign in it. It's not going to have an equal sign. So I can cross that out. It's just going to have the two things that he bought. Okay. Well, I know that he spent $3.50 on hamburger and drink. So I can just write that down. That's a constant, $3.50. I can add the 0 or not. 3.5 or 3.50 doesn't really matter. Plus, he bought some tickets for the ride. Now, I don't know how much each ticket cost, but, I do know how much each ticket cost, but I don't know how many he bought. So, some tickets. I'm going to use T as my variable because I don't know how many he bought. But I do know that they each cost $4. So I'm going to say 4 times the number of tickets that he bought. I guess I could use a different variable because I could use the variable R for rides. Again, I don't know how many he bought, so I could write 3.5 plus 4, it's not clear, plus, scratch that out, plus 4R. That's fine too. 3.5 plus 4R, or 3.5 plus 4T. Or I could write it the other way around. I could write 4T plus 3.5. Again, I can't actually solve the problem. I can't tell you how many rides, how many tickets he bought because it doesn't tell us the total. But I can explain what it means. Explain the meaning of the variable. Okay, I'm going to explain the meaning of the variable. Well, T represents the number of tickets that Caleb bought. Sorry again about my handwriting. It's very difficult to write on this device. Question 21. Find these differences. Okay, great. I've got to subtract. No problem. Okay, step 1. Don't like subtraction, so I'm going to change it to adding the opposite. I can't just change it to change subtracting to adding. I've got to change subtracting to adding the opposite. So changing 15 minus positive 78, positive 15 minus positive 78, I'm going to change it to positive 15 plus negative 78. Boom, boom. Change two things. Now I have 15 plus negative 78. Negative 78. Now, I follow the rules of adding opposite signs, so I have to subtract. 78 minus 15 equals 63. And the answer will be negative because the negative number has greater absolute value. Negative 78 is further from 0, so the sum will be negative. Negative 63. Number 22, boom, boom. Instead of 11 minus negative 3, I changed it to plus positive 3. Now it says 11 plus positive 3, which equals 14. Number 23, determine the value of the expression 4 1/4 minus 9 3/4. Well, step 1, boom, boom. Now I've got 4 1/4 plus negative 9 3/4. Okay, great. Now I've got, I follow the rules of addition. I've got opposite signs, so I subtract. I can already tell that the sum will be negative because negative 9 is greater than positive 4, so the negative number has greater absolute value, so the sum will be negative. Now, I have to change the mixed numbers to improper fractions so that I can add them. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 1 is 17 over 4 plus negative 36 plus 3 is 39 over 4. Put parentheses around that if that makes it clearer, just to show that the negative goes with that number. Now I have to subtract the numerators. So 39 minus 17. So this is equal to 22 over 4. And of course they're negative. It's negative 22 over 4. Now I've got an improper fraction, negative 22 over 4. And you can leave it as an improper fraction. That's actually okay. Or you can simplify it. You can divide to make it a mixed number. 22 divided by 4, 5 times 4 is 20, 2 remaining, so 5 2/4, which is equal to 5 1/2, which is equal to 5 1/2. Or you might also have a decimal, 5.5. If you continued with the decimal, you would get 5.5. That's the end of that page.